Hey guys, Tomboy601, and today we're taking a look at the Amagi. Couple of reasons for that. One, they have this beautiful new skin that they released for it, and wanted to check that out. But more importantly, they did give it a buff recently, and I wanted to test out this new buff. So, what did they do to the Tier 7 Tech Tree Battleship? Well, small reload buff. Originally at a 30-second reload, now it's down to 27. I feel like it does help with responsiveness of the ship a little, right? It helps you keep up that sustained fire. More importantly, if you're running a commander like Arthas the Cold, as we are today in our inspiration, it means you have a better chance of getting 3 salvos out downrange with your massive damage buff, which is what we want to do because, well, that's sort of what our entire build is about. So, with that said, let's go ahead and dive on into the game. And first things first, we have this Duncan popping up. And we are slightly built for stealth. And by that, I mean, we have the concealment mod. We're not, our commander not quite built for it, but that's okay. But what we are doing here is holding our shot. And the reason for that is, no one knows we're here right now, and because of that, we can give ourselves an opportunity like this, where the Duncan doesn't know he's turning broadside to us, and now that he's turning broadside to us, we can go ahead and set that salvo downrange. Now, you're going to see something interesting here. We're waiting to see how that shot looked before activating our plane. The reason for that is, well, for at least Arthas, the buff is active while the plane is up. It doesn't matter at what point in which the salvo you let it go. So for us, once we saw that that was probably going to be a pretty good hit, we'll go ahead, activate our plane, and with that, it will allow us to get some pretty good damage off the start on this Duncan here with 2 salvos up to 50,000. But hey, that's not all. It seems to be a full-on British special here, as Temeraire is also sitting broadside to us. And with that, well, we have our final salvo of this damage buff. And let's see what we can do. This salvo not looking as good as that first one, but still a Citadel, and half of his health goes down range. Now, unfortunately for us, we are going to end up eating 2 torpedoes here. It is what it is. Of course, I feel like every time I'm in a Japanese destroyer and there's a bow-in battleship I'm facing, those torpedoes magically go around that battleship. But hey, that is the luck of WoW-S Legends at play. And speaking of luck, look at that right there. 2 more Citadels and just a slither of health left on Temeraire. He's going to go ahead and go down, and that brings us up to 115,000 damage. Less than 4 minutes into this battle, and this is showing what Amagi's good at. Now, Japanese dispersion on battleships, of course, is kind of designed for that longer range, and it gets less accurate as you get some closer in ships, so we are kind of in the optimal range. Something that's not optimal, though, is our health. That Temeraire took a mighty big chunk out of us, and we are sitting down at only 11,000 health, which means we are going to need to start to play a little bit more conservative in this game. We had definitely a very strong start. We've definitely assisted our team. We've nearly done twice our health and damage to other battleships. And now we can go ahead and try and help with these cruisers that the rest of our team over here on the A flank is dealing with. So we're going to go ahead and turn out. Of course, the Japanese battleship Amagi has a great sort of firing angles for the rear, right? It has a pretty good kiting kind of stance. Three of the turrets on the back rotate through the rear, and the firing angles over the shoulder are pretty good, which means we can go ahead and set ourselves up so that it is easier for us to run away, which we will want to do if things start to get a little spicy, because once again, we don't have the most health. We have been able to activate our second heal, and that will get us up to a respectable amount of health, but we still don't want to go charging in quite yet. Our guns are way more valuable to our team up and alive rather than down at the bottom of the ocean. So we just need to kind of sit back, wait, and see how the rest of this match ends up playing out. D7 Provincian not doing too great here, but hey, he's doing what he can. He's decided that the full in charge is the way to go. Johan looks like he's about to go down. See if we can get the kill. We can't. D7 finishes him off with an airstrike, and now it's time for us to attempt to engage this Kagaro, the mystery destroyer whose torpedoes we ate earlier today. Well, he's still shown up. We're in a battleship. We're more than happy to try and take the shots here, get a little bit of damage onto him. Every little bit of damage does help. You know, we do automatically get overpens on him, so we're only able to do about 1,000 and some change in damage to him with each shell that knocks into him, but that's perfectly okay. You know, every little bit helps, as Neptune just gets slapped with some torpedoes, I think, or just maybe eats a couple of citadels, but he has next to no health. We'll see if we can finish him off. Not quite for us. Another friendly battleship finishes him off, and that just leads 2 other ships on this flank that we may have to deal with. We have this Kagaro, so we'll go ahead and try and start to look at him and engage him. He's going to drop back into his smoke. Our battleship is chasing him down. We'll go ahead and try and support that battleship the best we can. We can't really hit the mines that is out behind that island right now. So for us, just looking at this Kagaro is smart. Now, one thing that is going through my mind right now is, you know, we could be possibly going into the path of some torpedoes, though he's most likely way more focused on the battleship that is hunting him down. Mines, feeling like he has maybe an opportunity to make a brawling run, is going to get bold and try and charge down our battleship that is out here. We will just hold our shot just because we want to make sure that our rounds are on target. They look good now, so we're going to go ahead and pop our plane once again to get that damage buff. And, well, bye-bye, Mr. Mines. Dev strike and a kill for us. Our first one at the match, bringing us to 153,000. Oh, and we did also manage to get a high cal back there. So we're doing pretty good, and so is our team. Kagaro is starting to be chased down by our other friendly battleship. Our battleship, unfortunately, ends up going down. So does the Delaware that was out to our flank. So it's just us and this DE7 up against this Kagaro, one who has already landed a couple of torpedoes on us and has probably taken the most health from us this match. And the worst part about this is neither of us, of course, have sonar. Of course, you really don't expect it on Japanese battleships, but usually our cruiser friends have it. But of course, DE7, the whole Dutch cruiser line, does not. So this is going to be a bit tricky, and we're going to have to keep our wits about us if we don't want to end up being bait for this last Kagaro. So we're kind of just starting to push in here, and we will see we get spotted right away. That gives us at least somewhat of a heading of this Kagaro, and there's a couple of things that are going through my mind at this point. One, we see that the zone is being captured by him, which means he's relatively short by. We can push in and press him and maybe get a spot on him. But the other thing, I want to feint like I'm going right around this island. I want him to dump his torpedoes to the right, but I'm being prepared to turn left in order to dodge those torpedoes. So he gets spotted right there. We're going to go ahead and begin to execute our little turn. We take him down to just a slither of health. We're going to execute that turn, hoping that he dumped torpedoes towards the island. He did not. He just widespread those babies, and turns out widespread enough to go ahead and do a significant amount of damage to us, unfortunately. But hey, that is what it is. We've gone ahead and pretty much eliminated the enemies on this side of the map, and it's now time for us to make the long journey over to the other side, and we'll go ahead and just fast forward over to that. So last ship on their team ends up being Nebraska, as we go ahead and just try to take the little bit of health that's left over. Final thoughts on Amagi. Of course, I think Amagi was already in a decent spot as far as how it performs. This buff of taking 3 seconds off the reload, or about 10%, is a pretty good buff, and it does definitely help keep the Amagi relevant. Of course, Amagi is being one of the oldest ships in this game, as far as it's been around for a minute, so any love that it can get is always welcome. So with that said, hey, go out, try it. It was definitely a good amount of fun. And where do we end up on the scoreboard with our build? Well, 32,030 XP, leading us right at the top. Guys, if you like videos like this, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.